Welcome to a special fantasy booking episode
Fantasy booking time.
of DA Wrestling. Obviously, we like to go off on our little fantasy booking tangents during our reviews.
Absolutely. It's fun to do.
And I mentioned this on our very extended Raw review Monday night that we picked this one up. So, um, thank you to whoever made that horrible AEW versus WWE booking video that I saw on my way home from work.
Somebody did that
Uh,
already?
oh, fuck. It's like 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
But that's where this idea came from.
Well, ideas come from other places too. Everyone takes them, makes them better or something like that. I
Well,
know
and that's
that.
and that's what I hope we did here. So what we did is we both compiled our own personal AEW versus WWE cards and how we would see those cards play out.
Some may shock people.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Or at least have that look of like when when like Bugs Bunny would do something stupid, like somebody would do something stupid, Bugs Bunny had a look on his face like one
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, not that it needs any introduction. Andrew, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, your godfather is here. How are you? Uh I'm all right. It's been a bit of a stressful day with a lot of things going on. Well, for the
hmm
most part, it's been pretty decent. I mean, weather's playing a fucky way around there, you know?
What a start to spring up here in Canada, huh?
Yeah, what a shit show. I mean, to be honest, Joe, let's be honest. We exactly haven't been freezing our butts off up here all winter anyway. So it's been very good to us. So to get this last little shot of like cold, not much to bitch about. Let's be honest.
Oh no. Basically what I've been saying is
So wait
anyone
for that snowstorm.
anyone who has adequate shelter. And I preface it by saying that because uh, I do work with unhoused people. So
Homeless.
yeah,
Say it. Might as
you
well.
could
It's the place.
you could
It's the
say
right term.
yeah,
Right, you have
but
to go politically correct.
anyways, we if you have adequate shelter, there's no reason for you to complain about winter this year in Canada.
Even if you didn't, you probably it wasn't that bad. Let's be honest.
No, it wasn't terrible, but
I mean, it's been. I mean, I've had worse.
I've seen way worse.
Yeah, especially the past couple of years.
But yeah, so
But let's get into this excitement here for our cards here. So you want to go one by? Want to go opening match for each one, or do you just want to like go
no,
through?
no. So
Me
what we're
go
gonna
through
do,
mine.
what we're gonna do is this: is you're gonna go through your card.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a rating and my feedback, and then I'll do mine, and then you give me your rating, your feedback, and then we'll let the audience decide whose was better.
On that note, make sure we're liking, sharing, comment down below, everybody. We want to know your answers and what you think of this. If my card is crap, or Doug's is crap, or we're both crap, or both good. We want to know it all.
It
Just
doesn't always
let
have
us
to be
know.
negative.
No, let us know. Right? I want to know
Yeah.
about if it's which is good, what I can improve on, what Doug can improve on. Right? Do I smell funny? Does he smell funny? We all want to know. Inquire your minds. And all that too, like, share, subscribe, everybody.
On that note, Andrew.
Okay. So I call my card AEW WWE Collision Course. Because I thought it'd
Okay.
sounds really interesting. You know what I mean? Why not? Not have to call it for, for me to do it, there's already taken by AEW. So I figured let's go collision course. Because they're gonna collide eventually one day at some point. Might as well. So first match on the card. Figure I go with an opener, something interesting, something fun. I'm going KO and Sami Zayn versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong as
Nice.
an opening nice match to talk about. Now I know this match probably happened in the Ring of Honor days, but that was more Kevin Steen and El Generico versus Cole and Strong. So you know
Actually,
what?
fun fact,
Yeah.
Cole and Strong were never aligned
Or
in Ring of Honor.
well then this is the first for an opening match card. Here, let's get the crowd going. It'd be a lot of fun. Everybody gets involved with Bebe and all that stuff, and boom. So let's do that. Start off with. All right. So next match on the card, we're gonna go with. See, I probably have Cole Strong with that. I feel they would just probably win that match. So I'd probably say they would win. So next card of the card, something a little more fun. AJ Styles versus Swerve Strickland.
Yes,
I think that
this match is gonna come up on my card.
yeah, I think this is a match that people would want to see. It's a match of probably at one point the best in the world to the man who's eventually may be the best in the world at some point, depending on career, what goes on in his life.
And you're right. I said this on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
2014 to 2016 AJ Styles
Yeah.
was the best wrestler on the planet.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a consensus.
Yeah.
So I think Swerve being up and coming, I'd have to give this one to Swerve. I don't think Styles wouldn't need the victory anyway. But it would definitely a win for Swerve Strickland would be huge for his career, especially against someone like AJ Styles with the caliber of him.
I see it.
You know,
I see it.
I would see that, right?
I
Okay,
see the vision.
see the vision. All right, first women's match on the card. We're going with a tag team match here. We're going. That's a little interesting one because it hasn't really happened yet. We're going to go Jade Cargill and Becky Lynch teaming up to go against Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it would be a very interesting match to do because at that point there too, you can also build two stories at the same time too. So this match say happened, let's say, in between that WrestleMania SummerSlam thing, right? This card, you could easily set up Becky Lynch versus Cargill or Toni Storm versus Monet, possibly for the AEW Women's Title if you want to go down that road. Say I got for a SummerSlam or Double or Nothing.
Sure.
You know, I think that's a pretty interesting idea. All right, next match on the card. Well, we're going the first. We're going something a match that we wanted to see for a while. They've argued back and forth. Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Okay.
The number 4 match.
Now, again, when we were putting these together,
Yeah.
like I had to make it a little bit easy on us.
Yeah.
In the sense of we're not professionals at this shit. We're just
no, but a lot of people like the fantasy book stuff anyway. Who are not professional players.
And
so.
all I'm saying with that is, in terms of like current stories going on,
yeah,
I kind of like bended the rules with that with mine, and you'll see that. And also, like, I assumed a couple people were where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
But so, Usos and Young Bucks is good.
I think that's a match that I think a lot of people would want to see.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, there was a massive debate as to who is better, the Young Bucks or the Usos. Now,
what's the over under on how many super kicks would be thrown in that match?
Oh, it's gotta be at least 25.
Oh, I'm hitting the over on that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Next match. We're going with some beefy men here.
Okay.
We had a lot of fun. The way he's going right now, I think he would be able to troll the fuck out of this guy. And that is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Wardlow.
I could see that being actually a really, really good match.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I could see that being a really, really fun
build
match.
Up to Wardlow would just be absolutely priceless. Like he could just literally rip on him just for saying, "You've never even won a title. You never even won the world title yet. You've done nothing." He would just crap on Wardlow.
He's a 2-time TNT champion.
No, but not a world champion, whereas Drew has won a world title. Mind you, it wasn't in a pandemic.
Yeah, and basically in the sports world, what do we call anything won during the pandemic?
Nonsense.
Mickey Mouse.
Fair enough. All right. Next one here. We're going another female match, actually. Something I thought would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
A little power versus technique. We're going to go Deonna Purrazzo.
Okay.
versus Rhea Ripley.
Ooh, my dog. I
So
like it.
I think that would be a really interesting match,
I like that.
right? I think Ripley probably overpowered at the end with just straight
Hmm.
strength, but I think that match would show Rhea, like show what Rhea can really do in a technical standpoint, because Tifosi was very technical.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a really interesting match to see that.
Yeah, it's like a David Goliath type story.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I,
like that.
I think that'd be a really interesting match. Be a lot of fun too. Okay, after that, we're going the New Day with a return Big E, provided he's clear. As all provided he is clear.
Again, fantasy.
Exactly. Big E hopefully gets back together. New Day versus the House of Black.
No, like I said, I knew this. I
Yep.
knew they were coming up somewhere.
Yep. House of Black
Yeah.
against the New Day. Light versus dark. That's like, yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun, especially if you did it under House of Black rules. Where like, you know what I mean? But you
Like
can't have
anything goes type deal.
anything goes. Like you pick the stipulation, right? So if it's like, allowed to have, allowed to be a tornado tag, cool. Whatever you want to do, right? It's House of Black rules.
Okay.
I think that'd just be a lot of fun.
All right.
Okay, next match. We're going with one of the first of our main events, because there's three on this card, technically.
Okay.
First one. For years, he's been saying already. He says he is the best in the world. His name is Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay.
Against the man who can claim that title too right now, if he's getting okay, Kenny Omega. Rollins versus Omega.
Rollins and Omega.
I think that's a match that people would want to see. I think that's a match that you couldn't go wrong on who would win or lose. It didn't really matter. In a fan's mind, it doesn't matter. Because it's going to be a match, probably match of the year candidate.
I'm trying to think about who even I would put over in that.
It's hard to say, right?
Fuck,
So,
fuck it. That's gonna be a time limit draw for me.
absolutely. All right. Number
Give him
9.
give him 30 minutes.
30 minutes, right on. I mean, if you want to put the end of the show, you can do the end of the show, do an Iron Man match, but no. All right. Fourth match. Sorry. Uh, ninth match of the card. We're going fatal four way here.
Okay.
We're going Cody Rhodes,
Okay.
Randy Orton
Okay.
versus John Moxley and
Okay.
Kazuchika Okada. Fatal four way.
Okada in something untraditional. Okay.
Something different, right?
Yeah.
You got
No,
to
that's
do other
like
things.
that's definitely
Something like that would be interesting too. Who'd put over that? I'd probably want to put Okada over because Moxley wouldn't really need it. Cody wouldn't need it. Okada to the American fans, I think would need him more just so he can get more over. If you beat someone like Orton,
hmm?
Cody, or John, that's gonna put you over. I mean, even though Okada's a massive star in Japan and a massive star worldwide, I find he is more not so known as much in North America, unless it's
Hmm.
by hardcore wrestling fans. And this here would
Sure.
solidify that for sure.
That's fair. Yeah.
All right, number
What's your
10.
main event?
Number 10. Number 10. For a title, we'll have to say the Universal title because it's a big one. Because for Universal title. With special guest referee MJF,
Oh God.
Roman Reigns versus Will Ospreay.
Oh,
So, who goes over? You get to MJF's going to play a factor in that match for sure. Now, because you can either have MJF if he decide to sign with WWE, he screws over Ospreay just to get at Reigns, or screws over Reigns to get over at Ospreay.
interesting.
And MJF at the end of the card, MJF probably stands tall with that title. He's not even the one even going for a title yet, especially against referee MJF. And that is your card for AEW versus WWE Collision.
Very good.
Open to interpretation. Some of
Very
the matches
good.
here probably would not be very, yeah, not bad.
I noticed though a couple of missions.
Yeah.
Where's Darby Allin?
Mhm.
Where is Bryan Danielson? Uh, I mean, those were the two biggest ones that I noticed. But overall, I'll give you 7.5.
So that's good.
That's not a half bad card at all.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. You know, some of the ones that probably be a little out there, like some of these, just some of the ones you might just be a little out there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It'd be interesting to see what would happen in this card anyway. Like I think it's a card that people would want to see,
sure.
right? It's just a card that people would just like, oh, I've never seen that, never seen that. Like the Reigns versus Osprey would be interesting, especially if you have MJF as a special guest referee. So I had to put MJF in there.
Yeah,
You know,
that's great, dude.
no,
All right.
that
So
is my card for AEW Collision.
my turn?
Yes, your turn.
Cool. So I kind of took my inspiration for mine
Good.
from like a Survivor Series type, winner take all, World Cup, whatever.
Good.
There's 9 matches on my card,
All right.
and the winner would get like a trophy or something like that,
Okay.
or some sort of stipulation at the end.
All
Okay.
right.
I titled mine The Ultimate Forbidden Door.
Okay.
Okay. So kicking things off on the pre-show,
Okay.
we have a trios match
All right.
with Judgment Day, Dom, Finn, and Damian Priest
Okay.
versus the Death Triangle, Penta, Phoenix, and Pac.
Mm,
Now, I put Judgment Day over on this one because I figured JD would play some sort of factor.
yeah.
Um, but it's a fun warm-up match, get the crowd going.
Yeah.
So main show kicks off proper with our first of two 5v5 elimination match.
Okay.
This one's for the women's side.
All
Okay.
right.
So Team AEW is Britt Baker,
Okay.
Hikaru Shida,
Mm-hmm.
Riho,
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné, and Athena.
Mm-hmm.
And they're taking on Team WWE of Becky, Bailey,
Yeah.
Jade Cargill, Charlotte, and Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
I have Team WWE taking this one
Okay.
only because I'd like to see this kind of like, you know, Becky, Bailey, and Charlotte versus Mercedes, like right at the end.
Yeah.
And then the three of them just take turns with their finish on her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so for those keeping score at home, WWE's up 2-0.
Nice.
But right after that, in a match that I think would just blow people away,
Yeah.
is Hangman Adam Page versus Sami Zayn.
That could be a lot of fun.
I think that would be so much fun.
It would be a
But
ton of fun.
but I have Hangman going over in that. Um,
Yeah. Sammy's not one of those like lovable losers kind of guys. Like he's one of those like
Sammy's a great underdog.
yeah.
Um, but I guess for context purposes, you can put this in the middle of one of those like he loses a big match and
Yeah.
now he's got to climb back up type deal.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, match number 3, I have Tony Storm
Yep.
1-on-1 with Rhea Ripley. Now, I'm sure this happened somewhere in the UK.
It did actually at the finals of the UK to wrestle WWE UK tournament to crown the
Okay,
first women's champion. And what did actually happen as Tony Storm with the whole Rockstar gimmick. Tony Storm lost that actually, and Ripley won.
there you go.
It's also when they were both very young. So
And that's the thing. That was the thing with a
I
lot
think
of these.
I think Ripley was like 21 at the time.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of these. Like now, it's like, holy shit, that was so many years ago. Let's see them go at it now
Yeah.
with the amount of character development, the star power they've evolved as,
Actually,
talkers. They've evolved as performers in general.
Ripley alone with the mommy gimmick, shitting on Tony Storm and the fucking with the 1920s gimmick would be pretty funny. Actually,
That'd be hilarious.
like it would be pretty funny. Actually,
That'd be a fun build.
yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
And like I mentioned, that this match would come up again as my fourth match on the main card is Swerve versus AJ.
Yeah.
Same
reasons I had, or similar.
To me, it was like when I was putting this together, I was like, okay, who do I want on this?
Yeah.
I knew I wanted Swerve. And I was like, okay, who's the best guy to pair him with? And I was like, AJ's a huge star, but also AJ's like one of the best to do it in the last 25 years. So it's a match that makes sense.
Hey, think about it now. You said Britt Baker earlier. I could have put Britt versus Rhea Ripley would be a hell of a good match, actually. Or Britt versus Becky.
Yep. Yep.
Like you always have number twos.
Yeah.
So
so brings me to my second 5v5 elimination match.
Yep.
Now, here's where I'm making a couple of assumptions. Okay. And you'll understand why in a minute. I have Team AEW consisting of Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, MJF, Kenny Omega, and Darby Allin.
Okay.
Versus Team WWE of Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and CM Punk. Or
I don't think they'd be able to coexist.
Well, and that's why I was like, okay, in the lead up, it could be like, oh, like AEW is invading. We kind of got to just kind of put our bullshit aside. Or that could even play into it.
Very similar to the invasion angle.
Right. But also like that could play into the match itself because I have Team AEW winning this one.
Okay.
Where the finish could very easily be like, McIntyre gets eliminated and just decides to just drop CM Punk with a Claymore.
I think we just drop CM Punk with a Claymore if he wasn't eliminated.
Yeah. Right.
So
but like we've seen that type of finish a lot, and I like you could still go to that. But I was like, what was like this was the last match I put together because I was like, what was the 5 biggest stars I'm not using right now?
Yeah.
That I could think of. And so that's what I came up with. Match number 6 is another trios match.
Okay.
I have the Elite of Matthew and Nicholas Jackson plus Kazuchika Okada.
Right.
Versus the Bloodline of Jimmy, Jay, and Solo.
So you're saying Jay's back to back in the Bloodline?
For this instance, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for this instance, yes. Like I said,
it's fantasy booking, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You whatever the fuck you want, really.
Yeah. And I have the Elite winning this.
We have the Elite. We have the AEW winning an awful lot, actually.
No, actually, because
at least that's what it sounds like. Almost every single time I hear they say AEW.
Right. So right now the score is 4-3 for AEW.
Okay.
I forgot to mention I have Rhea Ripley beating Toni Storm. Because I just don't think Toni Storm could handle the power of Mommy.
No, I think Mommy. That's why That's why I put Ripley over on Peraza. I think Peraza, as much as technically sound it would be, unless she submits Ripley, Ripley's going to just put her right through the ground.
Yeah,
but it'd be a lot of fun to see her try to do it though first.
And this match has been this next match has been teased for years. These two have gone back and forth with each other on Twitter for literally years.
Okay.
And it is Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins.
Hmm. See, I put Seth versus Mega on mine.
I know.
I
And
think Seth, I way would go interesting.
so my reasoning for Osprey and Rollins is because, again, they've been going at it for years, but stylistically, this is a walking 5-star match waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
Um,
that's kind of thing with the Rollins and Omega. That's kind of thing where my view is too. That's more like pretty much a walk. I think anything with Rollins right now, Omega or Osprey, I think you're probably looking at a 5-star match at some point in there.
Pretty much. I mean, Omega doesn't think he's that good anymore.
No.
He doesn't think he can go at that level anymore. But he has big matches in him for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I have Seth Rollins beating Will Ospreay just based on the experience factor.
Mm,
Because you can play the match, like the story of the match can just be like Ospreay studied everything of Rollins,
yeah.
but Rollins pulls out a couple of tricks that hasn't been seen in a long time.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe like us. He used to do the small package driver called God's Last Gift as a finish.
Yeah.
Um, and you can pull that out of nowhere.
Oh, Seth Rollins?
Yeah, but you also
Back when he was Conrad Black, right?
that was in Ring of Honor
He's
under
pulled that out, I think, once in WWE.
once in WWE.
And I think it was against Riddle.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was it was kind of recent, but not that recent. I think it
Yes.
was against Riddle. I think and he pulled it off like I think I remember texting you that saying he just pulled out his old fucking finish. He's like, did he? Like,
Yeah. But also, when you think about it, um, like they both have super hyper quick finishers that they can hit out of nowhere, right? Osprey has the hidden blade.
I find the hidden blade has to be kind of set up though, whereas Rollins' stomp could pretty much be at any point.
Pretty much, right? So that's where you can give the edge to Rollins, and that's where probably Rollins would beat Osprey.
Yeah,
Which brings me to my main event. And for those keeping score at home, it's 4-4.
yeah,
I have a match that only happened once in WWE because those keeping track, there's one guy I haven't mentioned yet on the AEW roster,
yeah,
and it's Jon Moxley versus Roman Reigns.
yeah.
This match happened once in WWE. It was Roman beat then Dean Ambrose for his first WWE title at Survivor Series 2014.
Yeah.
And
Didn't it also months before
oh,
that though?
sorry. It wasn't 14, it was 15.
Wasn't that
But
also before? Also, isn't that also the same time, like a few months before that? John or Dean cashed in on Seth after he beat Reigns at Money in the Bank.
that was like a couple months later.
Like almost later, or was that
That was like
before?
6 months later.
Or was that before?
No, no, okay,
I'm just
so
trying to get the timeline right. Like, was it like did that happen first and then he lost the title to because I could have sworn Ambrose went to SmackDown after that.
okay, so just very quick, follow along.
Yeah.
Survivor Series 2015 was when
Hmm.
like just before that is when Rollins blew his knee out the first time.
Okay.
He had to vacate the title. They did a tournament at Survivor Series.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. The finals of that tournament was Ambrose and Reigns.
Oh, okay.
Reigns won that match. Then when he refused to shake Triple H's hand to kind of come join me on the dark side,
Hmm.
Sheamus cashed in on him.
I remember that.
Then they went back and forth. Reigns won the title back like a month later.
Hmm.
That led to that horrendous buildup to WrestleMania 32, where Triple H won the title in the Royal Rumble.
I remember
Reigns won it back at WrestleMania.
that. I remember that.
Had those two wicked matches with AJ Styles.
Hmm.
Then Money in the Bank happened, where Rollins uh, beat Reigns, but then Ambrose cashed in on Rollins.
Okay.
So all of this happened in about a 6-month
And
stretch.
that also, that's what led to the last time the All Shield went in one match was Battleground, because that was about a month later, right? Because that,
Battleground
'cause-
Battleground was like 2 months after that.
yeah, because they all did
No,
that. And
they did
then,
the brand split.
yeah,
And
then the brand split happened and Rollins, yeah, Rollins ended up winning that whole triple threat match against them. No,
mhm,
sorry, not Rollins. Ambrose with the triple threat match, it went to SmackDown.
which prompted the creation of the Universal title.
Yes. Which Seth Rollins still lost
Yep.
to Finn Balor.
So, I mean, don't get mad at me, but Roman Reigns goes over in this.
I like both guys.
I mean,
I love the Shield in general, so
we all love John Moxley, but I
yeah.
just from a star level, from like a star power level,
Well, it's kind of also like almost like okay, almost like hand it back, almost kind of thing, right?
yeah, right. And it's like, and like Reigns being the face of the industry, the face of WWE,
Yeah,
he wins this like one night competition with
yeah,
AEW for WWE,
yeah.
and you know, just story wise, I think it would make a better ending for Reigns and Team
Mm.
WWE to win. And it's not that I like one more than the other,
No, no.
but it's just I've been watching wrestling a long time and I've been paying attention to how things are booked.
Mhm.
And if you remember when I came to watch Survivor Series at your house,
Yeah.
like I was calling spots that were going to happen before they happened
Hmm.
because like I study this shit.
Hmm.
But overall, I think that's the best card I can come up with.
Hmm.
But yeah, what do you think?
Give probably probably the same rate I had 7.5 because it's open to interpretation because I think we both let people out that we probably should be on that card too.
What were
Because
some omissions that you were hoping to hear on my?
Gunther,
Oh shit, we both missed Gunther.
yeah, it dawned on me too while I was like, while I was listening to you. Gunther,
Yeah.
returning Sheamus. Let's see, who else did we both miss there? Uh,
Well, I mean, Sheamus, I'm just kind of eliminating because
yeah, I think
this,
he's at the retirement at this point.
the star level of. So you know what? I can take out like if that were the case, like
Actually, you know what? You know what? Honorable mention match there. Here we go.
okay.
Gunther versus Samoa Joe.
Oh, for you, yeah. For me,
Now that's
only
a match.
only because I think he would get a lot out of him.
Yeah.
Is give me Gunther and Wardlow.
So you have you omitted Wardlow from yours. I put Wardlow in mine. We both
Do you
put
want to
Gunther.
know? Would you like to know what my original Team AEW was?
Sure.
The Undisputed Kingdom.
Mm, that makes the most sense.
And then I realized there's a bunch of names that I'm not using right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. We're making up one card here, right? It always makes you understand how hard of a job sometimes uh, Paul Triple H Levesque has, and say Tony Khan has when you try to book a card, right? You're gonna leave off your list. Like for instance, I left off Gunther, Britt Baker, right? You left off Warlow and you left off Gunther. So it's like one of those things like we both kind of like dropped the ball with Gunther.
My original
Just,
Team WWE had Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker on it.
yeah, I thought of using those guys too, but I figured at this point in time right now, it's almost one of those things where I just want to have a current, and then say a second one to do. Then I put Broad Breaker and say Carmelo Hayes against actually Broad Breaker versus Wardlow at a second collision could be interesting.
Yeah, so that was one that was on that really bad fantasy card that
Yeah.
I like. That was the first match shown. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. And then the rest of it got really bad. There was like Satnam Singh versus Omos. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was like, there was like
We both left off the Acclaimed. Actually, the Acclaimed versus the New Day would be interesting right now.
the Acclaim dropped off, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Well, Bullet,
Max Caster is trying too hard right now.
Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, I thought about using Jay White at least,
Yeah, Jay
but
White
in
crossed my mind.
but in the structure of this card, I couldn't think of where to put him in,
Fair enough.
which is the same reason why I didn't use the House of Black either.
See, I thought of the
I
whole like,
also, but to be fair, I also knew you were going to use House of Black.
yeah.
So that's why I wanted to be different. And that's why I pulled in Death Triangle.
Well, that's true. Like, I mean, out of all these two, like we really had. I mean, when you think about it, we only had one that was actually similar, right? I mean, we both got Styles versus Swerve, so we're both thinking right there.
Yeah.
But you have um Rollins versus Osprey, whereas I have Rollins versus Omega and Reigns versus Osprey. And yeah, I left Moxley on into a four-way. So we,
I
we
thought
also
about
forgot to go
using,
Claudio.
yeah, I thought about using like the entire BCC at one point.
Yeah,
Like, and full disclosure to the audience, like, I cooked this up in about a 45-minute stretch this morning.
I cooked this up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I literally sat down. I had had two windows open with the active rosters of each,
Yeah.
and I was sitting here drinking my coffee, like just trying to think of like what's the most entertaining card I can put together.
I think to be honest, yeah, I think we're both lowballing ourselves here. I think both cards are really, I'd say probably about more like an 8 or 9, because I think a lot of people would watch both these cards.
Oh, for sure.
So I think they're probably more like an 8 or 9. I think both these are. I think 7.8
The
is just
only
being a
reason I
little
get
too
the
generous.
only reason I gave you 7.5 is because you left off Darby and Danielson.
It's because I don't like Darby. I think Darby's an idiot. Not a big fan. Just don't care
Wow.
for Darby. I just don't like Darby Allen.
Did you like Jeff Hardy growing up?
I wasn't the biggest fan of the Hardys, to be honest. I was more of an Edge Christian guy, guys.
That's why you don't like Darby.
Fair enough, right?
Yep.
Daniel Bryan, I just didn't think about it because, to be honest, I don't see him every week anymore, and it kind of just skipped my mind. Whereas a lot of these guys here, I see more almost every week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the reason why, I mean, I don't see Kenny Omega every week, but Kenny is Canadian boy, and we know about him, and he helped build that company up in AEW.
By the way,
And
you should go check out Omega's Twitch channel.
I don't have
Uh,
Twitch. I don't have Twitch. I don't even know. I don't know why I don't have Twitch. I just don't.
it's easy to sign up for free.
I'm sure it is. I just don't have it. I just don't. I don't know what I would use Twitch for.
Connect it to your you can connect it to your Google thing and you're signed up in like 5 seconds.
Okay. I just don't know what I would use
But
it for. So
I started following him on here and I'm just trying to find the name just to shout it out here.
okay.
The Cleaner's Corner.
Oh, cleanest corner.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is kind of a cute reference to Don Cherry.
Fair enough. All right. So that is our fantasy team. That is AEW Ultimate Forbidden Door. And mine being AEW versus WWE Collision Course.
And feel free to send in any ideas you want us to try in fantasy book.
Yeah.
I'm I'm like I'm really good at scenarios
Mhm.
and making them make sense in terms of stories. Um,
There's a lot of
and
fun cards.
Andrew likes booking fantasy cards.
I like fun storyline stuff. Something that's like
Mhm.
already put my deep in. A lot of the stuff here were kind of like I said, a lot of the ones mine had there was more or less building into a story for somewhere else for like a future event.
For
For
sure.
example, like with the MJF there and Osprey, you usually have MJF screw one of these guys over. You know what I mean?
That being
So
said, that being said, thank you for listening. Tune in this weekend. We'll have our SmackDown review up either Saturday or Sunday. As Andrew plays with his cat in the background. Follow the show. Find us on YouTube, DA Wrestling Podcast. Find us on Spotify. 5 stars, please, or not. Just rate it. And socials, DA Wrestling Podcast or DA Sports Podcast on Instagram.
What are you doing?
DA Sports Pod on X, Twitter. Boy,
She's having a lot of fun, folks.
he is a Purcell 1982 on Instagram. Andrew DA Sports on TikTok. I'm D Lions 1991 on X. Catch you down the road.
Shapoopy.